overhead, not dome, like a cylinder cut in half, whatever shape you call that. And then they put that over the soil, and that keeps the temperature much higher. Like, there are ways to keep the heat in, but you can still only grow certain things that way. Like, a lot of the really basic plants, like the leafy greens and lettuce and all that, you cannot grow them in winter.
In my greenhouse, I used to keep 45-gallon drums of water in there.
Of what?
Water.
Oh, just as like a temperature battery?
And the water collects the heat and it lets it off at night. And I grew like minus 20 where I used to live. There was like, that would be the average temperature in the winter, minus 20 Celsius, and we'd have lettuce and carrots.
That's crazy, dude.
All winter long, yeah. They're like root type vegetables, right? That didn't.
Right, like rutabaga and turnips and
all that stuff was perfectly fine. They grow there in the winter.
But you're not calling that hydroponics, right?
No.
Okay.
It's subjects, but I'm just saying a lot of the groceries that are grown in Canada in the wintertime is a result of that. And I mean, just people, organic vegetables that's grown in good soil. It's a lot more flavorful than that.
They started a thing where I live here in Kentucky called App Harvest, and it was essentially big hydroponic greenhouses. The idea was to build these giant, massive,
like skyscrapers
greenhouses out in eastern Kentucky, where there's not a lot of flat land to grow stuff, but you could find like little plateaus, and you build these giant greenhouses on them. The problem is,
again, I just accidentally shot. Fuck.
Was miserable for everybody that worked in there.
Why?
It's just between management. It was hot. The idea was that it was supposed to bring jobs to Eastern Kentucky, but they weren't hiring people from Eastern Kentucky to work in the thing.
Well, who were they hiring? Like illegal immigrants?
Yeah, South Americans.
Fucking hate that shit, dude.
Somebody has to pick it.
Yeah, not really. I know some of the pioneers of that shit, and a lot of it's like tech bro drivel, where they like are selling this bill to investors of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be super high tech, but like the reality is behind the scenes, they're actually secretly doing a lot of manual labor that they're not telling the investors about.
And that was where they ran into problems. Every time the big investors would come in, they would, bring in the skeleton crew of Eastern Kentucky, people that live in the hills. They would send all the South Americans home or hide them in closets and shit. It was a whole big scandal that popped up, yeah.
See, I really like hydroponics. I did a bunch of it. I took some classes on it, but I feel like so many other types of technology, the end goal is just that the 1% wants to cut out the poor and the middle class to do labor, and they just want to have this giant automated, essentially like giant multinational corporate business that cuts out all labor power. And fuck that. Like, I'm all for regular people growing their own food, but I hate this idea that like people are still gonna be getting their groceries from the store, and those groceries are being grown in these big factories.
Yep.
Like, I really wanted to start a business where you set up modules for regular people to grow hydroponically, and you basically put everything in a shipping container, and like the control systems, the reservoirs, and then you teach them how to use them. And they buy the unit. It's just a one-time thing, but then you pay a subscription if you feel like it, so that they can help teach you. But then once you get to the point where you don't need their help anymore, you can just stop paying. And that way people in like inner cities and shit who have zero land can grow their own like high-quality vegetables. But
what happened? Didn't see it.
But yeah, another problem with hydroponics is that it's not sustainable for a lot of reasons. Like, it uses a lot of plastic, It uses